Steven, when you came here, you didn't have that much power and you didn't have consistent power. You kept flying out on a lot of balls you said you were trying to hit out. Your goal here today in these 2 sessions, yesterday and today, was what?
Get more consistent power. You know, just if I need to try to hit a home run, I want to be able to do that. And as well, base hits, get harder line drives instead of the weaker ground balls, you know.
You reached into the mid-90s on exit speed, which is phenomenal. And how about distance? How much distance and consistency did you pick up?
I hit a couple of them right around 400 feet, which, I mean, if I was hitting home runs back home, it would be barely scraping over the fence, you know.
And how many, in your consistency of home runs, you hit a home run about every 3 bats here today.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely wouldn't be the case before.
And at the end here, I was impressed. At the very end of the session, I said, hey, you were developing a pro-style oversnap. I said, I got 2 balls here at the end. I want you to hit a ground ball. You can't have a home run. Yep. And then I said, I want a home run there. You hit 2 for 2, hit a hard ground ball past the shortstop area, and then you hit a long home run. You can see the pro oversnap is going to give you the ability to strike top, middle, and bottom of the ball when you want, eh?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about some of the changes. First change is in the stance. Talk about what you had before with that wild waggle and.
Yeah, before I was definitely up there, you know, with the mini Andrew Collins, you know, waggle. I felt like I would still probably a lot of times get back to like a connected position, but with just cutting it out altogether, you know, and starting off, you know, kind of just back here like in a good spot already, kind of takes that part out of the swing. You know, I don't have to think about that.
A good, simple, connected position. You look a lot like my son Brett now. I mean, he has a very distinct. He starts with the hands back. You know, nothing wrong with emulating Andrew Collins, but you know how many people have that hand-eye coordination. But most of the pros will start in a neutral stance as they start to bring the hands back. But for you, I was very impressed. Just start with the hands back, simplified the swing, and made you even more effective.
Yes.
Next, let's talk about you wanted to be able to go from hitting more base hits to hitting home runs at will. What was the change in the launch position?
I would say the most important thing on that was just you getting me to start maybe with, I mean, I always try to keep my weight on my inside foot from watching your videos, but you actually taking it further and having me do a bend, you know, and kind of being cranked back, not necessarily cranked back, but you know, bent back in a back angle. It just changed my launch angle, and it helps me when I'm coming through. Instead of coming out here, I'm staying back, and you know, I'm still driving the knob and cranking that, popping that left wrist and having the tomahawk, but I'm back here with this angle. It just helps me.
The other thing we changed too that helps anything you're doing is you had a kind of a crazy up-down motion with your foot that would really throw your timing off, and you went to a glide. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it was I used to have when I did have a stride, I felt like sometimes I wouldn't have a very good stride, but when I did, it would be a higher, you know, a higher leg kick out here. Probably threw my swing off a lot too, and you just cut that down instead of the whole, you know, crazy leg kick. You know, it was just a straight glide forward and then coming through.
You get a better weight transfer, and you don't lose, you know, you don't lose. Sometimes your foot would land and you won't even be hitting that. It just simplifies it, makes it a lot easier to do. Go back and let's talk about the perfect snap. You understood that you had to drive the knob and the hands at the plane of the ball, actually inside a little bit so we stay within the rotation, but we drive at whatever plane we want to attack. But we worked today on something that directs it around, and that's popping the left wrist down as soon as we start to drive so that the bat's able to flip through. What I found was that a lot of my swings that I'm just driving the top arm and trying to hammer, but if my left wrist blocks me, the whole thing turns into a sideways cleave. And talk about popping that wrist and how much difference that made.
For today, that was pretty much all I was focused on. When I did have a miss hit, it was usually that, you know, I would have a good stab, but I would still have a tendency to, you know, to be here side snapping or pulling up, and really popping that left wrist in the very beginning is helping me, you know, have that tomahawk over snap and, you know, finishing down.
And the timing on that that swing, when you start your drive of your hands to the point of impact, is 30th of a second. So you have just enough time to think, hey, as soon as I feel my hips starting to drive the hands in that extension, I gotta pop that left wrist down, and then it allows everything to flow past over the top, right?
Yeah, it's instant. Like it's right. It's like right when you're going. It's like you gotta be popping it right there. Like not like you said, pulling yourself and then popping. It's instant pop. You know.
I think the thing that really showed you that that's a great workable tool, and it's probably the key to why the pros are so good, is when we went into the cage and I gave you that knee-high pitch. And anyhow, you know, if you swung down on it without popping that wrist and making the bat whip over, it'd be a sideways swipe at it, but you were able to hit a couple balls really well that way. And even out here, you hit some line drives, hit a couple low line drives that carried out, but you're a little bit late on it yet, so you can tell that there's still some gas to be pulled out of that tank and give you that extra horsepower on those balls. Because man, I'll tell you what, when you get that right, it just feels smooth, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Even those pitches that were way down here that before, I mean, the only way you would feel like you could get to it is if you were going straight down to it. But it, you know, that wrist torque, it was just, it's the same, you know, striding in, a quick down to it, and then still, you know, popping that wrist and cutting through it.
Have you hit off the tee before you came here much?
I did some, yeah. I did some at home, but not consistently. I'll change that and be, it's definitely going to be one of the tools that I use a lot, you know.
What else are you going to implement into the program? Will you use the Jimmer stick?
I probably will. Yeah, I'll probably order one. I felt like that one, the one at the end, you know, I actually caught it well a couple times. You come off of it in that, you know, 28 ounce, it just feels like a toothpick.
It does. Now, what weight bat were you typically swinging back home before you came to camp?
Always a 26. Always.
And why?
Just because I felt like I wasn't that, you know.
But I mean, but is that what other guys are telling you how to swing too?
I mean, it depends. You know, mostly everybody swings 26 ounce.
So you were succumbing to peer pressure rather than thinking for yourself.
Sheep. Yeah, I was a sheep. Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else? Swing simulator? You've got that as one of your package tools here.
I'll be working on that. I'll have that set up. Definitely be using the tee. Pretty much just working on everything that you change. You know, trying to make it more muscle memory. You know, with the glide. I felt like when I did get off track, also in live BP, it was when I started doing the toe tap or the, you know, the hitch or whatever. And when I could keep it simple with that glide, that was where I was doing my damage, you know. So
Yadi, you know, you've got a beautiful wife. She sat here watching this whole show that you put on here at the end. You know, is there something more appealing about him than there was before, or can you only go so far with material like that?
Yeah, him throwing his hips forward and seeing his glutes from the back is pretty awesome.
I got kind of excited about it too. And you guys could maybe make a trip down to Woodlawn Hitting Club this winter.
Definitely, I was talking with you about that. It'd be nice to go see Pops and them out there, and maybe with a lot of practice, maybe try to make the Woodlawn Hitting, the Roof Club. The Roof Club. Want to definitely go check out Bear, the silver fox that is Bear.
The silver fox. Yeah. You know, some people say he's on the B celebrity list. You know, but you know, would you rate him up with De Niro and the tops?
I would definitely say he was A-list.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, well.
I think maybe him, then George Clooney, then Brad Pitt.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Awesome job, my man. I really enjoyed it.